the Sons of Liberty Riders. We ride two wheels so we can be free. We're the Sons of Liberty Riders. We love our freedom and our liberty. We are the Sons of Liberty.
Okay. Good afternoon, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio number 376. My name is Mel Popeye Moss. My co-host, Mel OG Robbins. We are here each and every week. We sponsor this program along with some help from our friends. Good evening, OG. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing good. It looks like we're getting close to 400 now, huh?
Yeah, we're creeping up on it.
Jeez.
Right. So, golly, I guess that would be pretty close to like 400 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, when you said 376, I
Yeah.
thought, holy cow.
Yeah. So we've been doing this for a while. Hopefully we're getting better.
Yeah.
I know our equipment's better, but Mel, I wrote a couple articles this week, and of course, the one this morning was about these review boards, which is all the rage now across America. All of a sudden, these police departments have citizen review boards that are watching over them, some oversight. And I know they've got to hate that. But Mel,
they bitch about it all the time.
Oh yeah, and of course Dallas and Fort Worth they're going to get their much deserved review boards also. They're kind of trying to control it as best they can, but this kind of stuff tends to spin out of control on them. And Mel, it's in my view, bikers, motorcyclists, whatever you want to call us, we should be on those review boards.
Yes, we should.
And because we have an unusual perspective of profiling, whether you be black, white, brown, purple, whatever, and also the fact that we are living with this motorcycle profiling on a daily basis somewhere in Texas, just about on a daily basis. Bikers are being profiled and put into gang databases without the ability to question how they got there. And man, we're going to be talking about that in a minute too. But right now, we need to get ourselves installed on one of these, or all of them that we can, police review boards. And
who appoints those?
Well,
do we know?
You know what? I think it's a little bit different in every city. But we're going to have to. I'm studying it right now. Some of them have already been. I think the Dallas and Fort Worth they've already selected, got an idea who they're going to get. But we're going to need to push our way in, and so expect the letters to start flowing pretty soon, and the studying to see how it is we get selected for these review boards, and. I assume you've got to have a background check and everything else. We'll see what it is. But we need to be on one of those boards, Mel. And you know what, Mel? On top of that, I think there needs to be a state law enforcement review board that watches over what's going on in these state-run law enforcement entities like the DPS.
Oh, I would absolutely agree. I mean, the biggest complaint you hear from law enforcement about these review boards is that, well, there's people on them that don't understand what we go through, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Well, the issue is typically you get the right combination of people on those boards, and they either personally or know someone that has been through some horrific experiences on law enforcement stops. And, lest law enforcement forget, they work for us.
That's true.
That's our tax money that pays their wage, just like these frickin' politicians. They all work for us.
Yeah.
They're our employees, and they have forgotten that.
Yes, they have.
They think we're the customer, and not only that, their philosophy seems to be the customer is always wrong.
Yeah. There you go. They do not produce a product. It's kind of like every other part of government.
That's right.
They feed off the taxpayers, and they always want more. Now, Mel, I'm understanding that the governor has twice received over $60 million for these fusion centers. Man, we got a lot of homeless people on the frickin' streets around here. And Austin is a shining example of it. I mean, these monies that, in my view, first of all, they only need one fusion center if they're going to have them at all. Only one is needed. You don't have to have them. Go ahead.
You're talking about a database.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is.
Exactly.
It's a database that can be accessed if it's set up appropriately. It can be accessed from any computer on the network in the state.
Yes.
And they can do it through VPNs or whatever to keep it secure. But all it needs to do is go to a central database.
Exactly.
But, like you pointed out, government doesn't understand. They've never produced a product. They don't sell anything to stay in business. They don't understand how to run a business or how to show a profitable bottom line. So they are going to be wasteful as hell.
Yes. And that's, in my view, and I think also in our view, in the view of many, this is a waste of money and a waste of manpower. Because you have
they wouldn't know a bottom line if it bit them in the ass.
Exactly. So we're paying that would be $120 million to have some police officers sit around inside and sit on their asses instead of out doing work.
Yep. Now they do understand budgets.
Yeah.
I mean, that's political lingo, and they further understand that near the end of their budget year, if they don't spend it, they're going to lose it.
That's true.
So they'll waste it on anything just to demonstrate that, hey, we didn't save any money on the budget because we needed it all, which is just a usual pile of good old Texas bullshit.
Yeah. Mel, I really think the governor, and I hate to say this, I really do. I mean, the guy's wheelchair bound, and I just really think he gets his jollies off with these databases, these fusion centers, and being in charge as the top cop. Just my opinion, because he likes to put on the shirts with the patches. Oh, that's right, they got a patch too, don't they? So
Yep.
just saying, everybody, just saying. What we're trying to do here, what we're trying to do is prevent a disaster before it happens. We're not going to have another frickin' Waco. We're not going to have that. No matter how much the bullies that are in law enforcement try and push us, they're not going to push us into that again. I think motorcycle clubs across the nation are learning. They're soaking everything in that's going on. And Mel, you know, the profiling is being done to put people in order to fill these databases. And in particular, I guess, the governor keeps talking about domestic terrorism. Well, bikers aren't terrorists. Bikers are not domestic terrorists. The motorcycle clubs that make it into the news, well, that happens every great once in a while. Do you agree with that? That's not a daily thing.
It happens less frequently than a crooked cop making it into the news.
That's right. And Mel, what we see going on up here in the Metroplex and the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and now spreading out to the outer counties, it's the OK Corral out there. We got kids shooting each other left and right, college students. You know, they wanted to call that thing that happened up in Denton the other day a mass shooting. And I guess you could make a case for that, but they're not going there. Did I lose you?
No.
You must have took a drink of tea.
No, I was just thinking, that this thing about getting a full database and the governor coming up with, get as many people in that database as you can.
Yeah.
That's just another way to justify getting more money in their funding for these fusion centers. Because if you don't have much of a database, you don't have anything to get funded.
Yes. Exactly.
So, it's all phony and it's all, smoke and mirrors. They're trying to prop it up, and that's how they're doing it. Is they're just putting anybody and everybody into that damn thing to make it look like there's a substantial database.
Mel, I received some messages and emails today where people were talking about, how people get into the gang database and not know it. Well, I've now got pictures of law enforcement on top of rooftops taking pictures of 1% members, banditos, and whoever else, taking pictures at funerals. Now, last time I checked, going to a funeral is not a crime.
No. In fact, I got to wonder how many undercover cops were at the funeral I was at on Saturday.
That's true. That's true. So they're out there collecting this data even though you've committed no crime. Just because of who you might associate with. What patch you're wearing. And every bit of it, Mel, constitutionally protected because, hey, the Mongols, they actually won big instead of what everybody, what law enforcement doesn't want you to know is the fact they didn't lose their patches, they didn't lose their trademarks.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I think that that federal judge put them on that probationary status just so the government could save face.
Yes, you got that right. Because the upper courts overturned everything on constitutional issues. And Mel, when one of these days we're going to be ready, and we're going to pull that trigger. But listen to this, Mel. You know, they were sending out that deal on Facebook the other day about, hey, the federal government, they're going to go out and they're going to go after all these clubs and everything else. Guess what? After what we just saw and what we know happened with the Mongols, that ain't happening. Because it would be the same thing for anybody else. Whether you're a 1% club or not, there are constitutional issues involved here. And they're not coming after everybody, let me promise you. It's not going to happen. So, take some pride in who you are. Stand up and stand tall.
Yeah, they'll only bully you if you let them.
Exactly. And if we can find our way on some of these review boards, oh brother, because we got plenty to say. And man, we know, we understand the plight of Black Americans when it comes to the biases of law enforcement and the profiling that goes on. We understand it. We get it. And that community is right to take to the streets. We can't do that. They will kill us. Not like that. Not go out and block traffic, not go out and burn down buildings. That ain't going to happen for us. But we can follow their lead and learn from those entities that are setting up review boards. It's absolutely incredible. This is spreading all across the nation. It wasn't until I started looking at what's going on in Dallas-Fort Worth and studying it more, and city after city after city after city is getting these police review boards.
It's the only thing that's going to keep their citizens alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you, you got these gunslingers out there wearing badges that just overreact to beat hell. You get stopped, you better be damn careful what moves you make to even get your driver's license out.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I pointed out. Oh, go ahead.
And what was that? We were talking to some of the guys here not too long ago that told us when they got pulled over on a profiling stop, it was multiple squad cars that pulled them over because they pulled the entire group over, and they wouldn't let them put their kickstands down.
Yeah.
They made them sit there and balance their bikes for, what was it, a half hour, 45 minutes.
That's bullshit.
Oh, that is. That right there should have gotten every one of those assholes suspended.
Yeah, it should. But like I said, we're trying to keep a disaster from happening, either from a bully police officer that's trigger happy, or from being stopped on the side of a highway where it's dangerous as hell, and where we have motorists that are either drunk or messing with something in their car, hit somebody stopped on the side of the road. We don't want to be those victims.
I can't believe it hasn't happened yet.
I can't either.
As many bikes as they're pulling over.
You know, well, you know what? It will happen sooner or later. And we're trying to point it out. We're trying to point out that this is dangerous, not only for us, but for the law officer as well. But they want you to obey. They want you to capitulate. They want you to obey every absurd command they can throw at you. And so, yeah, we've got something to say. You know, I mean, I wrote down there today that, you know, I find it interesting that these two cases, the one in Dallas with Amber Geiger and the one in Fort Worth, I forget his name, basically rookie cops. I think that guy, that the male in Fort Worth, I think he had a little bit over a year's service, maybe close to 2. And Amber Geiger was in her first year. And so, you know, I find that interesting that something is wrong with their training. And, of course, we've got a long list of things that are wrong that we would be able to give input on. But, you know, well, in the past, the victims of these police officers who would have feared for their lives, they would get off with judicial help or get a light sentence or maybe be allowed to resign and end up someplace else. So, wow. This is what we've seen up till now. But these cases were so horrendous, and not saying that others aren't around the country, because I imagine they are just as horrendous as the 2 cases we've had here in Dallas and Fort Worth. But man, oh man, have these police departments got a problem? Because everybody's going to be looking at every move they make, right or wrong.
Getting hard to stick up for them.
Yeah, it is.
We keep saying we're not anti-law enforcement, but I'll tell you, we're not. But they certainly do enough for us to talk about.
Yes, they do. I mean, we've got plenty to complain about. I mean, just think, you got these guys on rooftops taking pictures at a funeral where they know no crime's going on. And so, but our Constitution gives us the right to assemble, whether it's a funeral, whether it's a political meeting, no matter what it is. And we have the freedom of association in this country. And so, understand the Constitution, y'all. Read it again and again and again, your constitutional rights. Understand them. and help us prevent these disasters from happening from false narratives and hype, because that's what comes from them, especially these gang units who always want more money, more equipment, more. They'll never say they have enough, ever. So, oh, and Mel, hey, I did put the how to check to see if you're in the gang database on Facebook at Sons of Liberty Riders MC. I posted that again because when you go into that state site, the first thing you have to do is press the button Other. In other words, it'll ask you what you're there for, and you go to the drop-down menu and you click Other, because it's not going to say gang database check. Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's important that you click Other.
Yeah, so I posted a video, again, at Sons of Liberty Riders MC on Facebook. You guys go check and see if you're in the gang database. You will not get put in the gang database off of that. We've done it enough to know that that's not the case. Check and see if you're in the gang database. Let us know the results. Whether you're in it, whether you're not, let us know if they did not answer up. Because I've had a couple today tell me they answered them within about 3 days. And
and I'm seeing responses where they're saying they haven't answered yet. So
yeah.
And the other thing we're really looking for is if you are in the gang database, there's a couple of things you need to know. One, first of all, if you're in there and you don't even understand why, we want to know that. So, because we're trying to gather all of this data on people that are in there that, first of all, shouldn't even be, because there's no apparent reason for you to be in there. And if you are in there and you figured you were going to be in there for one reason or another, the other thing to understand is how many years has it been since you've been off paper and not charged with anything else? Because they are mandated. They have to remove you from the database after a certain period of time that you've been entered in there if you've got a clean record.
Right.
So we're looking for all that data, because I'm telling you what we're finding is actionable, but we need the data to back it up.
Yes. Yes. And Mel, I did write a letter to the Inspector General. They should have it in their hands now. And depending on the answers we get from the Inspector General, and who knows, we may not get, they may just decide to do the way they're doing these videos. Just ignore us. But anyway, answers from that will set our next course of action. So everybody stay tuned. This is going to get interesting. And, wow. At some point, we'll probably make that letter public. Not right now. We're going to wait for answers. But I told them of our concerns. And I pointed out a lot of things. And it's the violations of our constitutional rights by the DPS, by the governor. This is not going to stand. And we're going to take action. Right or wrong, we're going to take action. This can't be kept up because it's unconstitutional. Let me see, Mel. There was something else I was going to talk about. God dang it. Oh, I got it. Mel, also, the National Motorcycle Profiling Projects Survey. That is, from what I understand, that's going to wrap up here soon.
Yeah, that's what I saw when I took the survey today, and they're getting ready, I think, to amass the data that they need to push this thing through on a federal level. So they need any and all participants that they can get.
Yeah.
Quickly.
And especially you veterans out there, I do feel that the preliminary numbers we heard, the veterans numbers were low. And I know there's a bigger percentage than what we were told. So make sure you go and take that Motorcycle Profiling Project's National Survey and participate. Give us the data we need. So, get her done. Hey, Mel, also this week, I wrote an article. I was thinking about, everybody loves an outlaw. And I went looking around at all the outlaws that had turned into heroes. The folklore, the songs written about them, all that kind of stuff. And I think bikers who many consider, because the public out there don't separate 1% from any other motorcycle club member. They don't know. They don't know the facts. They think we're all outlaws. So it's just, I was thinking about that, and when we go into these political meetings, and when we go to these offices, and when we go to these events that politicians may put on, the curiosity about us goes up about threefold. And they want to know more and more. So I think there is something to the fact that we could be the next outlaw heroes. And I'm talking about anybody out there, any biker out there, riders of the Iron Horse, the last free spirits in America.
Hey, you don't have to wear a 1% patch to be an outlaw.
That's true. That's true. But I think that's just reasonable and cool as hell. Because I tell you, Mel, my old buddy Rick Rose, who was a career police officer, he was an investigator for the DA's office here in Dallas, Texas. He always looked at me with a raised eyebrow. even though we had known each other for years.
I know Rick. I knew Rick.
Yeah.
I remember him.
Yeah. So, yeah, he
Some of us just have that free spirit,
yeah, that's right. So it's just
and we tend to operate close to the line.
yeah. And at the end of the show right here, we're gonna play a song or two. One of them's called Waco, and Waco is written and performed by a group called Troublemakers. And so take a listen to it if you would. Give us some feedback on it, what you think. And, you know, I guess that could be, Mel, one of those kind of although it's rock and roll, could be considered one of the outlaw to hero type thing.
Right.
Yeah. So listen to it. It's going to be cool. And also, Mel, I come up with a new method for the next time I get stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching a video the other day, or my wife sent it to me. This guy was trying to get on a horse, and every time he got on him, he'd fall over and play dead. Well, I think the next time I get stopped by a cop, I'm going to put my kickstand down and just fall over. And just lay there. Play dead. And you know I'll do it. But it can be kind of interesting. So.
Yeah.
So I'll try and make sure I have the body cam going when I do that.
Yeah.
Mel, you got anything else you want to wrap up with?
Yeah, I've got something I'll close with.
Good.
We have a prospect up in New Mexico
Ah.
that posted a meme that kind of tickled me a little bit. And first of all, you know, it reminds us of what's about to happen this weekend.
Uh-huh.
He said, "Clocks go back this week. I'm setting mine to 1775, when this country had some balls and the chicks didn't."
There you go. There you go. Is that kind of like California, where the men are men or the women are too?
Yeah, that's right.
Just saying. Oh, hey, and our prayers go out to the people out in California where those wildfires are just burning out of control. And, man, we did get a call from my sister-in-law who lives in Simona, up there in the wine country, north of San Francisco. And I think the fires are about 20 miles from their home. And they had to evacuate. They've shut the power down, and so I guess they're in a hotel or somewhere now. But man, our prayers go out to all the people out there that are having to endure. With that, Mel, we're out of here, buddy. Everybody,
Okay.
ride safe.
Ride safe. We'll talk later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is a TBR Extra. The Dallas School Board had an emergency meeting today. This means they're probably fighting over contracts to rebuild tornado-damaged schools in the Dallas area. This means they'll be fighting to get friends and families contracts so the kickbacks can flow back to them. You know, the more we think about it, the school boards, they needed citizens review boards too, along with many other sections of government. But hell, let's not stop with school boards. How about state legislators and the Congress, who does nothing but play a giant game of gotcha? This is Butch Popeye Moss with Texas Biker Radio.
Going to meet some old friends there. Yeah, when gunshots ring from out of nowhere and blood flowed out all into the streets, 9 souls lay dead for no reason. My friends are dying, got brothers dying at my feet. Shots fired in Waco. Will justice ever be? Life lost in Waco. Someone explain to me. Compound off in the distance. Families caught up in the wrath. Although the reason's hard to fathom, 23 lives they burned to death. Yeah, it made all the headlines. They justified it all in through the news. 23 died and half were children. They had to burn in fire for religion they did not choose. Shots fired in Waco. Will justice ever be? Life lost in Waco. Someone explain to me. So what really happened in Waco? Why don't it make any sense? Guilty by association, guilty for self-defense. No proof is found on record. Yeah, but they're still in jail.